When did you realize love meant nothing to them? My friend Caroline sobbed harder at my parents' funeral more than anyone else. They'd been her parents as much as mine since we were 6 years old, caring for her more than actual parents did. It happened pretty gradually. Caroline just started showing up after school more and more, and at some point, she basically lived with us. Your house feels happier than mine, she'd tell my parents. When it came time to be picked up, her mom would show up trying to shove an envelope full of cash coldly. For her expenses, she said, my mom handed it right back. We don't take money for loving children. Caroline's parents tried again with monthly payments, but my dad told them that Caroline wasn't a burden, she was family. Eventually, they stopped trying to pay and stopped visiting altogether. Caroline got her own bedroom, her own Christmas stocking, a permanent seat at our dinner table. Mom taught her how to drive, and Dad walked her down the aisle at her wedding, crying harder each step they took toward the altar. At my dad's 70th birthday dinner, after a few glasses of wine, he stood up and announced that both his girls should know they were in the will equally. Family is family, he said. Caroline burst into tears and hugged them both. 4 months later, my parents passed away, just 3 days apart from each other. We held the funeral at our family house, trying to keep things intimate. Caroline pulled me aside in the hallway. You look exhausted. When's the last time you ate? She insisted I take a break. Go eat or rest for a few minutes. I'll handle the guests. I was grateful and completely destroyed by grief. I headed upstairs and stayed in my parents' room instead of mine. I pulled out Mom's shawl and breathed in, holding her scent close to my heart. The house was full of mourners below, but upstairs it was quiet, peaceful. While I laid there thinking of my parents, I heard a muffled voice through the wall and realized it was Caroline. I figured she must have gone up there to cry in private. I moved closer to the wall to see if she needed comfort. Instead of grief, I heard her giggling and laughing as if the most tragic event of our lives wasn't happening. I froze with my ear against our shared wall. Something felt wrong. The Caroline downstairs had been shattered, but this Caroline sounded like she was chatting with a friend about weekend plans. My heart started racing. I pressed closer to the wall. She had it on speakerphone, and I could hear everything crystal clear through that thin wall. Yes, Olivia, I'm at the funeral now, at their house. The other person, Olivia, responded, both of them died? Seriously? Caroline laughed like she was enjoying the gossip. Cardiac arrest. I know. What are the odds? Saved me from having to wait years. Olivia laughed along. Holy crap, you're terrible. So what's your take? Caroline didn't even pause. Half of everything. The house alone is worth 1.2 million, so say hello to your new millionaire. Olivia gasped. They're giving you half? Why? Caroline's voice turned bittersweet. 35 years of playing perfect daughter finally paid off. Should have been more. You know, my parents tried to pay them multiple times, but these idiots kept refusing, saying all this BS about how they don't take money for loving children. Can you believe that? Olivia clicked her tough. So you played the long game. You're cruel. So when do you get the money? Caroline yawned. Few months for probate, then I'm gone. Already looking at places in Costa Rica. Caroline added, ugh, anyway, gotta go back and play grieving daughter again. Bye. I stumbled out of my parents' room with my face completely blank, completely tortured by everything I'd heard. Caroline was just coming out of her room. There you are. You okay? You look pale. I stared at her concerned face and mentally tallied everything. 35 years of lies, all for money they wouldn't take out of love. They loved you, I whispered, imagining the way Mom died, thinking Caroline loved her like family. Caroline pulled me into a hug. I loved them too, of course. We're all we have left now. I think in that moment, if I had a knife in hand, I'd stab her from the back, just like she did with us. A week later, the lawyer read the will and left Caroline's face crumbling. To Caroline, we leave our complete collection of family photographs, that she may always remember she was loved. And to our daughter Lorraine, we leave the house and everything else. Caroline jumped at the lawyer, grabbing him by his tie. There must be some kind of mistake. Where's my house? My millions? She cried out. I said nothing and signed the papers quietly. That night, I sat by the fireplace and pulled another will from my jacket pocket. This one was dated 2 weeks before the accident that I had planned on revealing at the funeral before I'd found the truth. I read it one more time. Our 2 girls, equally loved, shall inherit in equal measure. I watched my parents' true last wishes curl into ash.